this is the platform whereby employees, new employees mingle together to socialize one another. So that is the ideas of orientation. So, in which the idea is, to try as hard as possible, not only for the new employees to know about the organization, but to initiate the feeling of sense of belonging to the organization during the first day in the career. The idea is this orientation should sparkle the passion of new employees to the organization, and it is not just simply a phase whereby people get to know about the organization. It's not simply a day where people think about what happened in the future and so on, but it is a particular day in which these new employees, they feel the sense of belonging immediately during the orientation week. So, knowing this, the management need to have a very comprehensive kind of orientation week. Every particular information being shared during that orientation week should be something that will leave a tremendous effect to the new recruitees. Because you remember, the idea is to recruit and to make sure that they will later become your talent employees. During the orientation weeks, as I said earlier, you are going to have briefing, and in the briefing there is welcome note from the management, and the most senior, if not the GM, not the director or not the CEO, the most senior officer will greet you during the session. And I don't know if you still remember, during our first day at work kan, kita ni rasa macam kebaruan lah, bahasa Sabah tu dia bilang kebaruan. We feel a bit macam janggal, awkward, because one thing for sure, we didn't know anyone among the new employees or the senior employees, so we feel a bit awkward. This is what we call jitters. Normally the ideas of stabilize adrenaline, so that you feel happy to join the organization. Of course lah, selepas menghadiri pelbagai temuduga, finally you got recruited. After going through so many failure in your job interview. When you remember the first day, the first week when you get recruited. So for those who are yet to be employed, don't worry, later you will have this experience. I believe all of you, after you taking this MBA, if you are not yet being recruited, I believe you will get after having your MBA or while having your MBA. And for those who are still at your current position for long time already, I pray that you are going to be promoted to higher position. Employee handbook, just for your information, awareness, the academician like me, we have what we call green book, GREENBOOK, green book. This green book applicable to all academicians working in UMS. So inside the green book, actually it is employee handbook lah. But those who are not academicians, they don't have this green book. Only lecturers, academics like me, we have this green book. Inside that green book, it tells us about how it actually can go from being a lecturer, senior lecturer, and to the professor. Everything is inside the book. And it also explains to us what actually some benefits that we might get or we can apply in order for us to next stage of our promotion, of career progression. That is employee handbook. I believe some organization, especially big organization, they also provide. Just remember that this employee handbook is not a contract agreement between employer and employee. This handbook, employee handbook, simply contains some basic benefits that employees can get from the employer. If you remember last time I mentioned about psychological contract. Don't get confused with employee handbook. Psychological contract is the unwritten agreement. And this one is written agreement, but it is not a contract. Psychological contract, it is unwritten agreement that bind employer and employees toward the success productivity of the organization. Psychological contract. Orientation technology, nowadays it is common to find organization having scannable QR codes, having QR codes. It already become a norm nowadays after COVID-19. It already become a norm that wherever you go, the organization will provide you with QR codes. So for this purpose of recruitment as well, they already in advance before the COVID, they also introduce QR codes, and it becomes a norm already. So bila kita pergi mana-mana, kita scan, there will be a lot of statements referring to that particular intentions of that QR codes. So organization nowadays, they also apply these QR codes to minimize the cost of printing the books, to minimize the time of reading a lot of materials. So they put it in QR codes and they put it very short and concise statements regarding of the services offered by the organization.